School districts across the state are worried about accessing their full budgets. The state legislature appropriated historic funding for Idaho's public schools in the most recent legislative session. However, a change in how that funding is distributed could get in the way. News Channel 7's Andrew Bartline talked to leaders in several school districts today. And Andrew, they say this could act as a budget cut in a way. Explain.
Yeah, because it all revolves around the difference of enrollment compared to actual attendance at those schools. Through COVID, Idaho funded districts based on enrollment, not attendance. That was to offset massive losses, or what would have been massive losses. But returning to an attendance-based formula in the fall, some say it's too early. Governor Brad Little entered the 2023 legislative session with a top priority.
By making, dare I say, historic investments in education a reality.
That's a reality made possible by a more than 16% increase to the state's K-12 public school budget. However, to access all those funds,
we're just trying to provide the very best educational experience for our kids.
Twin Falls Superintendent Brady Dickinson says it's complicated.
Yeah, for most districts around the state, they're going to have to reduce staff.
That's because the funding formula will change next fall. Districts will receive state dollars based on average student attendance. Temporarily through COVID, districts were receiving money based on enrollment, which is naturally higher.
And due to that, we're going to lose millions of dollars. And again, understanding if your district's operating at 91, 92% attendance and you have 100% of students, you're losing 8 or 9% of your budget.
Nampa Superintendent Greg Russell
we're dropping back down.
Says attendance is not at pre-pandemic levels, meaning moving back to an attendance-based formula hurts districts financially.
The federal COVID funds that came in during the pandemic, we're fortunate that we have a large amount of those that we can use to kind of bridge that gap into next year.
But in the long term, something has to give to balance out each district budget.
I think it's just a little bit difficult when people hear about historic funding and then maybe question why is it that the district has to look at downsizing in a time when there's extra funds that are coming in. And again, it's because going from 100% down to about 92, between 92 and 95%.
The State Department of Education says each district on a local level will decide how to address these funding changes. The state legislature also passed a bill to give teachers roughly a $6,300 raise each. The Department of Ed is encouraging districts not to divert this money away from teachers and allow it to be used as intended. Superintendent Dickinson at the Twin Falls School District says he doesn't expect diverting raises away from teachers to be popular in any district. He expects them to hold.
Yeah, and then bumped up the pay raises or the pay starting salary for starting teachers as well. So, Andrew, is that system of going back to the attendance-based formula, is that set in stone?
Yeah, I mean, that's the state law. That's how it goes. It was a temporary shift between the Department of Ed and the governor's office through COVID, reverting back to the way the state has historically run.
All right, districts are going to adjust again. Thank you, Andrew.